Hey, doing some play and explain here. First time in a long time playing online. Want to get more hands. Verse 1 lamp, I go to 4. Verse 2, I'm just going to go to 5 and make sure to tag. So we'll go 5 big blinds. Bigger seems fine as well. Just set down so not much reads. Versus hijack opening, I can't continue ace 6 off here. I think my bottom would be like ace 9 off maybe. Versus 2.5x, and then all my suited aces. So yeah, it looks like we get a cold call versus the 5, so that's a little worrisome. Definitely versus 2 players in this type of board, like, do not mind checks. I think this hand, I'm just a little more inclined to bet than aces and kings, where I just slow play that a little more. So kind of reverse ladder with the pocket pairs. Prefer to bet with the heart as well, but I'm just gonna start betting anyways. They're fish, so if anything gets too much money goes in here, I'm probably gonna surrender. But until they prove to me that they have a strong hand, I'm gonna bet hands that want to bet. Plan is probably like continue versus a raise and then fold on turn. It's hard for them to have much jack X here, besides jack X of hearts, jack X of diamonds. There's not many gut shots containing a jack, so I'm not too concerned about it. And I think it's, a good amount of 7s and 5s, maybe 9s, like gut shot hands with pair that I can get called by and such. So versus reg, maybe I'd like use the RNG here, but I think I would just pure bet this hand class versus fish, and kind of punching bag size 50 to like 66p sounds good. Just go 50 again and probably check back river. I think queen 9 off, cut off, pretty loose, but we'll just open. King 9-0, definitely possible to ISO, but versus someone I have tagged as fish with short stack, I just prefer to go linear. Versus reg, maybe I'd throw this in there. 8's not great for us. Definitely a common hand class that they have. 8-7, like maybe even 8-5 suited with fish and stuff. All that changes is we beat like 6-4 suited, so a very small part of the range, especially when they didn't raise and everything. Here I'll just simplify with range, but it's probably fine to check a lot as well. And then here it's a limp pot, but I'll go ahead and bet. But yeah, anyways, I think 10s is just a check back here. It seems a little hard to maybe get called by 7s, 5s, and if we go half and get jammed, we're really miserable. So I just would like to check here. And 4-5 off, yeah, it's a good hand to note, and it falls into that category of gut shot plus pair type of hands that I think they're dense too. So that's why I like to continue betting 10s on the turn. Queen 9, I'll just go for showdown at this point here on table 1, and not really want to play 3 bets here, and I don't think this hand would want a 3 bet. I assume we just want to 3 bet like pocket 8s and then maybe like other stuff, although I don't have that because this is pure limp pot. So yeah, I'll just hopefully let them blast it off. And then happy to check down the queen 9 here, maybe beat like 9 jack or something. 6s. Yeah, no idea what to go here, and they raise and then check down. It's most likely trash. So I feel like they're a little unlikely to bluff now that they check the turn. So I'm just gonna bet kind of small myself. This is a size I would use for like a queen, maybe even a 10, because it's kind of hard for them to have queen. Jack 4 suited versus cutoff open. It's probably close, I'm guessing. I think versus button we call over jack X suited, maybe versus cutoff it's fine as well, probably not a big deal. And yeah, now this versus this raise again, kind of just signaling that they have a good king or some type of monster trap, but I don't think I can fold this in a limp pot where they could potentially be, kind of spazzing, so just have to pure call this. And yeah, it seems like they're just spazzing a bit. Queen jack suited, I'm just more inclined to 3 bet once we get the overcall in here. Hand plays fine post flop, so I don't mind continuing, but I'll just 3 bet, jack I'll call. and we'll just be calling this down, I think, depending river size, but being in a cutoff versus big blind single raise pot. They're very ace-x heavy. I think we can bet some jack-x here for like block if we want to, but not this low in the jack-x. So we'll go for a check down and decide on the river. What happened here? That was the 3-bet hand. I have the cold call and then another cold call, so I'll just bet. Could even go bigger here, but I think this is a fine. Queen jack off maybe will 4-bet sometimes, and then for these types of pre-flop things with no reads, I'll probably just defer to RNG here, and so I'm using low roll for aggressive, so I'll fold queen jack this time. 6-5 suited won't be opening pure, but we do have fish in the big blind, and we're in the hijack here, so I will be opening it pure in this case. Jack 4 suited, we have a decision to make versus a little over 60%. We probably need to be calling a good amount of the time here, so we'll flick in the call. Versus this humongo raise, it's usually just combo draws or nuts. Very interesting spot. We'll be opening all ace-x here. 6-5 suited, I'll be calling versus this size, and I think we have to peel. This is such a big size, I'm just not used to this. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna fold here. Definitely an interesting hand. The double cold call, not sure to make of that, but if versus that size, I'm just kind of scared. Initial 3-better checked, and our hand is pretty nice. I feel like it can go either way. I'll check for now. Cutoff versus button, 4-bet. We will have to, I think, pure continue this hand on the button. Probably check calling, check folding here, or I mean, call then fold with ace queen off. Pretty quick c-bet, that seems fine. Most often in c 25% versus strong regs, but this will be a continue. And then now with the 6-5 suited, I just want to bet big on this turn. Just be betting my ace-x plus for value, I think, and this size seems okay. No desire to turn our hand into a bluff. Would expect them to continue barreling like ace-jack and ace-5, since those are all the gut shots, especially hands that have a heart. But we'll just go check, and then we'll fold to the river shove, I think, is the plan here. Unless we want to turn our hand to a bluff now. Probably just going with the fold on this ace queen now. Definitely will mark that hand, not too sure what to make of that. Basically in this hand, I don't think they're too capped. I think people will check a lot when the flush comes in, especially with a lot of hands that are really easy to check, like ace king with an ace of hearts or aces with ace of hearts, just because they're pretty invulnerable on this turn. and they don't mind calling or shoving. And I can shove a lot here with less than 1 SPR, so I think they are gonna be finely protected there. So I don't think they're capped by checking in the turn. 4s we get donked into. I think we just continue with the spade. Jack 7 suited, I guess we'll call hijack. That might be a little loose. And on this board it'll be check fold. And then yeah, when they go this size on the river, I think it's pretty hard for them to bluff. It's triple Broadway, 4-bet pot, 4 to flush. I think we just fold and probably, I don't think bluffs are just doing that well in this run out. Open 5s, we'll fold this hand. We'll be playing a lot of checks here. This hand wants to bet a lot, but on a really passive roll, I think checking is fine. Definitely, maybe would check more like Ace King of clubs, and then the higher King X Broadway clubs, and bet this one more. But yeah, now we'll just start betting, and not too sure on the sizings here. 5s without a heart, probably okay to bet 3 ways. So we'll start with that. I think either way is fine. I don't mind the protection that 5s get compared to some of the other stronger pairs. And then not too much of a reason to continue betting, so we'll just try to show down and then consider hero catching on the river versus 69 at VPIP. Small number of hands, but called in small blind. But when they go this size, not loving it. Yeah, probably just fold. Continue with the heart, maybe. Yeah, it's tough trying to commentate. It's been a while, so I'm not used to having to play this many tables and think, process out loud. So it's a good experience. Hijack, I will fold this. Just opening 10-9 suited. Probably a reasonable hand to just pure bet flop, and then when we check, maybe we just I don't know if we want to overbet because it gets funky with the 10 and the clubs come in. Our hands that do not have those properties do not want to overbet, so maybe it's okay to 75, and I can mix in hands like jacks or something. This mixes 3-bet and fold. And there's some properties here. We didn't roll super aggro, but there's also a fish in the big blind, so they might be opening wider. So we can definitely 3-bet more if we think that dynamic's going on, but for now, just toss. And then with the 10s, we'll have an interesting decision here. Just lean towards 3-betting a bit more when we have the cold call. Just more dead money to pick up pre. But call there is probably okay as well. No strong preference. Here we have a 3-bet. I'm just going 4x the open size. Could min open with no small blind, but whatever, just simplifying. With the fish big blind, I will min open here. Hand does not do great for a short stack, and it could get squeezed a lot, but I think hand is close anyways, so when there's a fish, I'll open. Pure defend this versus the cutoff open. This hand might be able to low frequency 4-bet, but for the most part it's trash. And this will be high frequency check raise here. I'd say like 75% of the time. And so we did not hit that this time, so we go for the call. Pure check raise might be okay as well. And definitely think about check raising the turn. I think it'll be over barreled. So go for that this time. 3-bet kings. And yeah, 7-5 might be a little puntier, but I like having some of these like more polarized bluffs. Like if we ever get jammed on, it does not matter. I think on the river, then we're not unblocking some bluffs or some hands that can call and then fold. King 10 types of hands, we're not blocking any of that region. Not blocking diamonds. So I think it, I don't know, seemed okay. Disguised hand when we hit, so it just seems like it had some reasonable properties. And I'm assuming the overcard turns get barreled reasonably high frequency, so it's okay to be aggressive versus that. Versus 3x in the cutoff, I think we fold. Open the ace-4, open the ace-6. I think both are okay 4-bet bluffs, maybe the ace-4 more so. King-high boards, we bet a lot, but also don't hate the simplification of like checking range on mono blind versus blind. I think that's fine. And then now we'll just bet. We're usually betting like some gut shots, some strong club draws, etc. Ace-X, I'm very conflicted here. I think we have enough showdown with our ace-X here. King 10, usually versus these size donks multi-way, I don't get out of the, like, don't want to continue too wide, but not a board they should be donking at all, and have some good properties and block like some weird fish traps maybe. So I kind of like raising this. There's the donk earlier that was like half pot, and I had kind of like a worse hand than this, but it's a board that seemed more okay for them to donk on. So I'm less likely to play back there. But this one's a little more appealing, I think, to attack. Just check range versus imposition calls. Maybe don't need to versus 63 VPIP. I can like play more straightforward, but I think that's fine. Kind of happy to see this size. I think people do not bet it with an 8 very often, so I think our Ace and Jack are like pure live almost. And versus size, don't think we have any merit really in raising, so just gonna call at least twice and then decide. Versus small blind cold call, like in theory, we probably don't just range bet, but versus fish, I think it's fine sublocation, so just do that. Ace-8 suited, reasonable button call hand. But we'll kind of mostly just stick to 3-better fold, I think. Double 100p, I think is gonna scare me off. Yeah. Without any reads, I just default to fold there, I think. Very funky spot with short stack, not sure what to do. Maybe we just go to like 10 big blinds or something. Very weird spot here. Calling seems like something to do as well. But we'll take that. Unfortunately, they sit out. Now the ISO pretty small, so I'll just go like normal type of like linear 4x thing. If the ISO bigger, I usually go more like 3 to 3.5 out of position, so it's not playing like a 4-bet pot, and I can play a little wider that way, I think. But yeah, that seems fine. Actually, those would both be opens. Yeah, so main hands I want to review. 7-5, if like it's okay to delay check raise, if that seems reasonable. This king 5 like versus betting flop and then turn, and then also river sizes if we get there. This ace queen hand I'm curious on if we would continue on the turn if they bet, and then what else we should do here if we should ever have any bluffs. This will be a fold, this will be a fold. And then I also marked the Jack 4 hand. If this is fine to defend on the river, that seems to be okay. Yeah, some other hands too, but those are the main ones I marked. And I'll play a couple more and finish up. But yeah, I'm going to be trying to do this a little more frequently, trying to play online maybe twice a week for the hand histories, and then do maybe some play and explain like once a week. We'll see how that goes. and we're hoping for the 4-bet on table 4. Probably mostly playing calls, some jams. Uh, 10-9 deuce. I don't hate ranging a third. It was a little more disconnected board. I would either range half or split half in some checks, or split even larger in some checks, but don't hate the third too bad. And I don't know how to play any 3-bets in this spot, so I'll not be going for that. Although there's a time for 3-bets when they go this big. But we'll just go for the call. And they'll be getting in on the turn. Don't think they're supposed to play sizes that large. But could be wrong. Setting up a 2-street game. Not sure if we want to. I might have to check raise check. I play a lot of small bets, but on this texture, it does not seem like that's something I want to do. I really have no idea what to do here. Like if I bet 15, that puts us at 90. That's just a weird spot. I feel like we just rip. 4-7, I think, strong enough to raise here. And tank called by the 9s. Nice hand. Yeah, I'll be checking if that one makes sense to rip or not. Not sure how much the ace of hearts matters, but thinking we have some like jacks, combo draws, ace 10 bluff catchers that maybe we can get heroed by. And plan to finish it up with this ace queen of hearts hand. Yeah, not too sure about this one. Like if I'm not getting called by many draws and I block the ace of hearts, then it might be a punt. And if I'm not getting called by like jacks or ace 10, it seemed kind of close. But yeah, I'll call it for the next time.